Hey folks, welcome back. This season delivered some of the most intense coyote and wolf encounters we've seen in years. "59 clean shots, each one demanding precision, patience, and perfect timing." Stay with us as we break down what made this hunting season truly unforgettable. Why is coyote hunting such a big issue? It's not just about the damage. Every year they attack about 400,000 livestock. In Texas alone, their numbers have surpassed statistical limits. They are invasive survivors thriving in deserts, suburbs, and even the outskirts of cities. Texas dominates the scene with private ranch lands and a ridiculously high coyote population. However, this area isn't the best for coyote hunting due to the dense urbanization and strict local hunting regulations that limit access to certain lands. In contrast to Texas, Arizona's Santa Rita Mountains are now one of the hottest hunting spots, while Colorado's dense terrain makes it more difficult for hunters to navigate. So they've switched from traditional tracking tactics to using animal distress calls. Typically, before facing such challenging areas, hunters start in open grasslands, where coyotes are easy to track due to clear visibility. However, once in the woods, hunters have to change tactics, using distress devices to attract coyotes, which are not as effective in open fields. Comment 1 if you've heard of this tool, comment 0 if you haven't. In Colorado, coyote hunting is regulated by the Colorado Parks and Wildlife (CPW) to ensure responsible management. Coyotes are classified as non-game animals, meaning you can hunt them year-round with no bag limit. However, you'll need a small game hunting license or a fur bearer license costing around $30 for residents and $80 for non-residents.
Whoop. Whoop.
Hunting is allowed on public lands like San Isabel National Forest without landowner permission, but private land requires explicit consent. Electronic calls are permitted, but baiting is illegal. Night hunting is allowed on private land with artificial lights, but not on public land. Violating these rules can lead to fines up to $1,000 or loss of hunting privileges. Always check CPW regulations before heading out to stay legal and protect Colorado's ecosystems. Coyotes are notoriously elusive with keen senses. In Colorado's rugged terrain, landing a hit often takes multiple shots. Based on distance, wind, and coyote movement, experienced hunters report an average of 3 to 5 shots before a clean knockdown. A single well-placed shot from a .22-23 rifle can drop a coyote instantly, but their erratic behavior makes this tricky. How many hunters does it take? Often just one skilled hunter can take down a coyote, especially with good optics. However, in open areas like Colorado's plains, 2 to 3 hunters working together using calls to lure in spotters to track can increase success rates by 30%. Groups are common when coyotes are near livestock, as teamwork covers more ground and reduces misses. Missing a shot in coyote hunting is common, but it can have serious consequences. A missed shot alerts the coyote, making it warier and harder to track. Coyotes learn quickly, avoiding calls or traps after a near miss, which can ruin a hunt. In Colorado, shooting near roads or homes can lead to legal penalties, especially in urban adjacent areas like Boulder County. If you miss, stay calm. Don't chase the coyote, it's likely gone. Reposition quietly, switch calls, and try again later. If a coyote acts aggressively, extremely rare but possible near urban areas. Lower your weapon, back away slowly, and avoid cornering it. To escape danger, ensure your rifle is unloaded when moving through dense areas, and always hunt with a partner in remote regions for safety. Finally, report any incidents to CPW to prevent future conflicts. So, what are your hunting tactics when coyotes are hard to catch? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel for more hunting tips and tricks. As someone who has spent years observing and studying wildlife, I am often asked questions about where baboons live and why they are involved in hunting in the United States. The topic of trophy hunting has been quite controversial lately, especially after the incident involving Blake Fisher, a former Idaho wildlife official. His controversial knocking down of a family of Chacma baboons in Namibia sparked outrage. This leads to a question I hear repeatedly. Do baboons live in the United States? If not, why do we hear about Americans hunting them? First of all, baboons are not native to the United States or anywhere else in the Americas. These fascinating primates, known for their distinctive drooping faces and social behaviour, are found primarily in Africa. They are well adapted to their environment, eating fruits, insects, and even small animals, often storing food in their cheek pouches. You will not find wild populations of baboons in the United States. Some may wonder if baboons exist in conservation areas in the United States, and they can be found in captivity, but there are no free roaming populations of baboons here. So when people hear about Americans baboon hunting, it is understandable to wonder why this is happening if these animals are not native. The answer lies in the global nature of trophy hunting. The United States plays a major role in the trophy hunting industry, with approximately 800 to 1,000 primates, especially chacma baboons, being knocked down by hunters each year, many of them Americans. However, these hunts do not take place in the United States, but rather in African countries such as Namibia, where baboons are common and in some cases considered pests by landowners. Trophy hunting of baboons is legal under international law and is relatively cheap compared to hunting larger animals such as lions or rhinos. For example, the fee for shooting baboons in Africa can be as little as $60, 0 cents, in places where they are considered a nuisance. In some cases, landowners may even allow hunters to shoot a few for free. Most baboon hunting is not an individual trip. A typical African lowland safari package costs between $3,000, 0 cents, and $7,000, 0 cents, although some budget options start at under $2,000, 0 cents. Baboons are often hunted on these trips indiscriminately, as they are not usually the primary target. This explains why Americans, who make up a large portion of the game hunter population, are often associated with baboon hunting, even though the animals do not live in the United States. Having read up on hunting practices, I can share that hunting baboons in Africa requires specific strategies due to their keen senses and skittish nature. Hunters typically use rifles with calibers ranging from .243 to .300 Winchester Magnum, paired with expanding bullets weighing 100 to 150 grains. A well-placed shot to the upper body is usually enough to take down a baboon, as they're smaller animals compared to other game. What makes baboon hunting challenging is their alertness. Baboons are notorious for their loud alarm calls, which can scare off other game if they spot or hear a hunter. The usual shooting distance is 100 to 150 yards, and hunters often set up in a blind along the baboons' regular paths between their roosts and feeding grounds. These paths are predictable, with baboons travelling out in the morning and returning in the late afternoon. Stalking them is nearly impossible. They'll bolt at the slightest movement or sound, staying just out of range. So, why the confusion about baboons in America? It likely stems from high-profile cases like Fisher's, where an American's involvement in baboon hunting grabs headlines. The outrage over such hunts often overshadows the fact that they're happening in Africa, not the US. Additionally, the accessibility and low cost of baboon hunting make it a common add-on for American trophy hunters traveling abroad. This creates a perception that baboons might be local to the US when in reality, it's the hunters, not the hunted, who are crossing borders. The impact of feral hogs isn't limited to destroyed crops. As their populations grow, their behaviour becomes more assertive and some encounters have turned dangerous. In Texas, home to approximately 3 million feral hogs, over 100 incidents involving attacks on humans were reported between 2018 and 2022. If you find yourself in a tense situation, avoid sudden movements or loud noises that could escalate your aggression. Instead, stay calm, back away slowly, and seek higher ground or a sturdy barrier. Maintaining composure and creating distance can help diffuse the situation. Before the first morning light emerges over America's wilderness, hunters gather to share a moment of solemnity and focus. Across states like Texas and Florida, where wild boars devastate farmland and ecosystems, every hunter must attend a mandatory ceremony before heading out to hunt. This is not just tradition, it is the law. At these gatherings, state officials issue hunting licenses to hunters using firearms and trap permits to those opting for cage traps. The air is thick with anticipation as teams of 5 to 7 people are formed. As the sun rises, the focus shifts from the thermals of the night to the vast expanse of the hills some 1,500 feet above the ground during the day. During the dry season, especially in July and August, wild boars are more active near water sources. The scarcity of food and water drives them to streams, making this an ideal time for hunters to strike. What is your favourite technique? Following the trail or setting up camp near where they drink and waiting for the opportunity? Whichever technique you choose, vote to see which technique wins. Have you ever been disqualified from a hunt due to poor physical fitness? In the US, hunters navigating these challenging terrains are typically required to have a VO2 max of at least 0.54 ounces per pound per minute, and the endurance to trek over 5 miles up steep slopes while carrying 30 to 50 pounds of gear. Any failure to meet these requirements results in disqualification from the hunt. With temperatures potentially dropping to 10 DFF, wild boars are well equipped to withstand the cold due to their thick skin and fat reserves. However, winter hunting in Minnesota is restricted due to conservation efforts, as the wild boar population is currently under 1,000 individuals. While direct hunting brings the thrill of facing nature head-on, wild boar trapping is a different strategy. Trapping combines precision strategy and technology, as demonstrated by Yaga Pro's operation in Columbus, Georgia. Confronting 250 acres of rooting damage near residential areas, the team implemented a systematic approach to capture the entire sounder within 96 hours. Using soured corn as bait and advanced tools like the mine camera system, they remotely monitored hog activity, minimizing fuel and labor costs.
Good day of driving around. Seeing lots of animals. It's not one.
The dual gate trap setup ensured complete success, capturing 7 wild boars, while easing tensions between residents and city officials. After each successful hunt, hunters who achieved results in controlling wild boar populations can be recognized by US wildlife management organizations. Only disease-free, quality-tested hogs weighing between 100 and 250 pounds are allowed to be consumed. This effort not only rewards hunters, but also turns a destructive, invasive species into a sustainable resource. Are you proud to be a part of this impactful mission? Do modern traps provide a humane solution, or do traditional hunting methods still have their place? Share your thoughts below and let us know what your most memorable hunting moment has been. Don't miss our next episode as we dive deeper into the new methods and rewards of wild boar hunting. See you next time. And don't forget to subscribe to Mouse Farm. Our objective was not just a hunt, but an urgent ecological control mission. In the American South, especially in this part of the country, wild hog populations had gotten out of control, causing an estimated hundreds of millions of dollars in damage to agriculture each year. The large boar we were tracking was a smart boar, a king, who had repeatedly escaped elaborate traps and devastated over 500 acres. This was an opponent we were certain we would not be able to defeat if we relied solely on traditional hunting instincts. They are not easy targets. They have thick hides, a cartilaginous shield that protects their shoulders, and agility, combined with a keen sense of smell that can detect human scent from 400 yards away. To win, we must overcome both their biology and their tactics. How long do you think this chase will last before we gain the upper hand? We began our mission using traditional daytime hunting tactics. The initial rationale was to take advantage of the best light to get a clear shot. However, we quickly realized this was a serious mistake. Wild boars, driven by their survival instincts, hide in the bushes and reeds from 8 AM to 3 PM to avoid the heat and human activity. They move very little, and when they do move, they make the most of the cover. In 3 daylight approaches, we were completely defeated. The first time, the wind changed, revealing our position. The big boar was charging at about 22 miles per hour before we could raise our rifles. So never let the wind carry your scent to the pigs. Their sense of smell is so acute that they can detect human scent from over 400 yards away. So before every move, check the wind direction with dry grass, dust, or a handheld anemometer. After several failed attempts during the day, we decided to move to nighttime operations. Studies across the southern states show that over 85% of wild hog movement occurs during this time. In other words, daylight gave the wild hogs every advantage and took it away from us. We used a high-end thermal sight that allowed us to detect the heat signature of the boar in the dark. This virtually eliminated any advantage they had in concealment. The rifle was an AR-10, which was a great middle ground between the semi-automatic burst rate and the kinetic energy needed. We used 165 grain ammunition to make the shots more decisive and humane. At 11:30 PM, we spotted our target foraging in a shallow area near the woods, 500 yards away. Instead of pursuing, we adopted a block and approach tactic. We moved against the wind, using the darkness to conceal our silhouettes, relying only on the thermal imager to guide us. Tensions reached a boiling point when the boar sensed something was wrong and charged. It raced across the terrain over natural obstacles at high speed, trying to lose us. The chase lasted about 10 minutes. A true test of stamina, shooting calculations, and composure on the part of each member. We kept a reasonable distance of about 120 to 150 yards, where each move required constant corrections in bullet drop and target tracking. The final shot was not accidental, but came from deliberate math and technique. In 2022, a large ranch in Wyoming, USA suffered a disaster when a pack of 15 wolves attacked at night, causing serious damage to more than 80 sheep and 5 domestic dogs that could not resist in the fight to protect the herd. The total damage was estimated at up to 250,000 USD, and this also affected the wool production, causing the ranch to face the risk of supply shortages and reduced revenue. This attack shocked the world, sparking debates about wildlife management by the US government. After the devastating attack, wolf hunting became a necessary measure to control the population. In Wyoming, wolf hunting is strictly regulated, unlike wild boar hunting. Thanks to these efforts, the wolf population in Wyoming has decreased from 1,500 to 900. However, in some other areas of the United States, such as Montana, the wolf population has increased alarmingly, causing concern for ranchers. Wyoming residents reported that wolf control has improved sheep farming income by 75%, gradually stabilising the local economy. Wolves are very wary animals, so hunters often use devices such as fake sound generators to attract them. This sound imitates the sound of prey or the call of a wolf, helping to shorten the search time and increase the success rate of taking down the prey. Hunters in Wyoming must pay attention to wolf hunting season regulations, which typically run from October to March. This time is chosen because they tend to move more in search of food near livestock areas. While hunting wolves, many hunters in the US have unexpectedly encountered wild boars, leading to some serious attacks. In response to this situation, the Texas state government conducted an investigation and reported that the number of wild boars was increasing. In 2022, the number of collisions with wild boars reached alarming levels, with more than 12,000 recorded, causing great damage to hunters and threatening the safety of people. During the feral hog hunting season, the Texas government allows 300 hunters to operate regularly during the day and at night to prevent the uncontrolled growth of this species. Under the policy, the feral hog population has decreased from about 2.6 million individuals to 1.8 million individuals in 2 years. Hunters must strictly follow humane regulations that are not allowed to hunt pregnant feral hogs to protect the natural growth of the population. To avoid disrupting hunting, hunters should stay up to date on frequently changing regulations and information on websites like the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department or the US Fish and Wildlife Service, which regularly publish changes to hunting regulations and permitted hunting areas. Areas like Texas, Florida, and California are where feral hog hunting is legal under specific regulations, while some states have more stringent regulations for feral hog hunting. Not stopping there, according to media reports in 2023, the city of Madison, Wisconsin recorded a large number of collisions between vehicles and deer. The number of accidents involving deer reached more than 18,000 within a year, causing an estimated $1,100,000,000 0 cents in damage to vehicles. The collisions are often very serious, causing heavy damage to vehicles and threatening the safety of road users. Madison residents have continuously reported and requested the government to take quick action to control this situation, to ensure safety when travelling and minimise risks. Deer hunting season in the United States typically runs from September to January, unlike wolf and wild boar hunting. In states such as Wisconsin, Michigan and Pennsylvania, where deer populations are high, hunters often use compound bows. Hunters must be 16 years of age or older, with at least 2 to 3 hunting experience to be licensed. Antlered deer, especially in Montana, Wyoming and Colorado, are considered valuable. The government has tightened regulations on hunting licenses to prevent illegal antlers from being sold. One of the latest innovations for deer hunters in the United States is the use of bows and arrows with built-in lights, which help hunters easily find prey in dark conditions. Along with the development of technology, the US government has also used fake deer combined with simulated sounds to attract deer populations to the hunting area. This gives hunters more time to accurately identify their targets .
Nice.
Only in North Africa do mongooses dare face cobras head on. They hunt snakes for food. With their speed, they strike from behind, avoiding the snake's fangs. Thick fur and a rare neurological mutation slow the venom's effects. However, if the dose is too large, paralysis can still occur within hours. When a snake spots a frog at the water's edge, its predatory instincts kick in. The frog puffs up, trying to escape its fate, but the attack comes too quickly for it to react. In a split second, nature chooses who survives. Do you dare to look directly at that moment? You need to be clear about the two species. Komodo dragon and cobra are not related, because Komodo is a lizard, while cobra is a venomous snake. Komodo attacks its prey with a toxic bacteria, while cobra attacks with a neurotoxin that paralyzes the body in just a few minutes. Scientists report that the Komodo's size and thick skin would give it the upper hand. In the wilds of the Serengeti, a pit viper and a black mamba are masters of venom. One slow, the other swift. Their battle is not one of anger, but of survival. Territory and food determine their fate. You choose whether the pit viper or the black mamba will win. Yes, snakes and crocodiles fighting in the wild test the limits of each other's strength. Smaller snakes are easily defeated. But when a giant python appears, the battle changes. Tensions escalate until only one predator is left breathing. It is a true reminder of nature that venom and survival never share the same throne. Although they are not venomous, pythons are still a formidable challenge in the wild. Their squeezing force can reach around 90 psi, strong enough to slowly incapacitate their prey in a short time. They don't need to attack with venom, they just silently wrap around, each muscle tightening until everything stops moving. Most snakes crave the taste of rodents. In the wild, rats are the heartbeat of the food chain. Their scent sends snakes into stealth mode. It only takes one strike and within 8 to 12 seconds, the venom paralyzes every nerve. Nature wastes no time. It is cruel, but it is balanced. Can you picture a lion dropping low, caught off guard by something moving in the grass? In Central Africa and India, a cobra's strike is swift, silent and final. Its venom ends even the strongest fight. Out here, dominance means nothing when danger hides beneath your feet. For anyone stepping into this wild ground, every sound in the dark could be the last warning nature gives. According to scientific records, spitting cobras can shoot venom 2 to 3 yards away and with enough accuracy to hit the eyes of prey or intruders. Even large species such as lions or tigers cannot withstand being hit in the eyes or mouth. For humans, experts recommend keeping a minimum distance of 15 to 20 feet when spotting a cobra in the wild. Do you think a 10-pound eagle with talons strong enough to tear apart its prey could survive a cobra bite? Who is the real predator in this confrontation? Snake venom is always a boundary, and even the eagle, a symbol of power, is no exception. So, in your opinion, what is more terrifying? Claws or a drop of poison that can paralyze life?
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.
Hey folks, welcome back. This season delivered some of the most intense coyote and wolf encounters we've seen in years. "59 clean shots, each one demanding precision, patience, and perfect timing." Stay with us as we break down what made this hunting season truly unforgettable.